Hey guys, welcome back to a new video today. Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. So today I really wanted to talk about something that, it's near and dear to me if I'm being 100% honest. Like for me, I personally have been like, you know, it's the last 3 years have been really rough. They have been really, really rough. And it's like, we're just trying our best to get by. We're human beings. And that's the big thing about it. It's like, so much of our time, we're just sitting here and, we can't control what happens, but we can control how we react to it. And like, that's the biggest thing about it. And everyone's like, oh, I can't get out of this situation. Yes, you can't. But make the most out of the cards you're dealt. Even if you're dealt a shitty hand, you can make the most out of it. Like, keep playing those cards until you have a good hand. And that's the big thing about it. Everyone's like, oh, I can't, my life sucks. It may suck in the moment, but nothing, worthwhile came easy. And that's the big thing about it. Like, oh, everyone's like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. And the big thing about it is like, you just need to believe in yourself. I think a lot of people don't believe in themselves, so they don't take that first step. And that's the big thing about it. They don't end up taking that because that's something you need to do for yourself. Because at the end of the day, the only person that is going to make that step for you is the person staring back in the mirror. And like, we can sit here and be like, oh, make all the excuses in the world. But when it comes down to it, we want to be able to, be like, hey, I gave it 100% that day. Because realistically, we never know how long we have. We really don't. Our time on this earth is limited. And don't get me wrong, there are going to be days where it feels like the whole entire world is coming crashing down. And I mean the whole entire world, like to the point where we don't feel like we're ever going to get through it. But I promise you, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, regardless of how it feels in that moment. Because at the end of the day, something that's really helped me is looking at these emotions and these feelings as waves, because it can't stay high forever. A wave eventually has to come down. And that's the big thing about it. Like, everyone's like, oh, my life's over. No, it's not. It may freaking hurt, but that is life. You actually learn more from your failures and your setbacks, because that is going to allow, you can either allow that pain to break you, or you can use that pain to become a better version of yourself mentally, physically. And that's the big thing about it. I'm not going to say it's fun. I'm never in my life ever going to say it's fun. But when you really want to, you want to be able to say, hey, I left everything on the table. And, there are going to be moments where you feel like, I can't do this. But you just have to keep reminding yourself that I hate the analogy that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Because realistically, that light is inside of you. And everyone's like, oh, because at the end of the day, so many people are like, oh, I'll be happy when I achieve A, B, and C. No, don't get me wrong, it's great to strive for those things. But the person staring back in the mirror is worth love and is worth care. And you need to give yourself that love. Because at the end of the day, no one is truly going to be able to do that if you can't love yourself. And I feel like a lot of us struggle to be able to love the person staring back in the mirror. And that's the big thing about it. We, as human beings, are our harshest critics on ourselves. And yes, it may be things that were engraved into us at childhood, or certain things that were said in our, formative years. But that doesn't mean that's reality. And don't let someone else control the way you see yourself. So many people spend their life hiding behind masks and trying to be what everyone else wants them to be. Realistically, life is way too short for that. So might as well just be yourself. And yeah, you may lose people because of that. But you lost the wrong people in your life. The right people will stay in your life. And you will also attract the right people. That's like, let's just say you're on, on a dating app and you aren't authentic to yourself. And you're trying to play off this character or something like that. If you are not authentic to yourself, you aren't going to attract the right mate. And it's as simple as that. Like, when it comes down to it, we always just try and be, we're always wanting, there's this like definition, we always have to be perfect, but no one in this world is perfect. And that's the big thing about it. Embrace who you are. Embrace the things that make up you. Of course, I'm not saying don't try and work on yourself. Work on yourself. Try and become the best version of you. And that's the thing about it, is like so many people want to like almost replicate other people. But we're all unique, different individuals. And that's the big thing about it. Everyone's like, oh, I need to be, this person. I need to be this person. No, you don't. The person staring back in the mirror is worth it. And a lot of people are like, oh, I can't because, I'm not worth it. Who? The only person that is reinforcing those thoughts in your head is you. As much as I don't want to say that, how many times in our lives were we told, don't get me wrong, let's just say, when you were younger, you were told those things. But if you keep telling yourself, it just makes that path bigger and bigger. So it's so easy to slip into that mind process where you're like, I'm not worth it. And like, that's the big thing about it. And like, especially being a man and like that, a lot of times our worth is determined by what we can provide. And and a lot of people, especially like what's the big thing is financially and stuff like that. And there is a lot of pressure and a lot of, that where men feel like they have to be, if they're not making a certain amount, they're not worth something. That doesn't mean you're not worth something. You can provide in so many other possible ways, and that does not make you less of a man. And like, I feel like there's this big environment. It's like, oh, men don't show their emotions, men don't embrace their emotions. Do you know how hard it is to embrace your emotions? It is one of the hardest things out there, especially as a man and like that. You need to be like, hey, it's okay to feel these things. It is. It's okay to cry. It's okay to break down. That doesn't make you a weak person. It actually takes a lot of strength to be able to do that. I'm not saying let your emotions override you or anything like that, but like when it comes down to it, feel those emotions. It's having that balance of being like, hey, I can be able to feel my emotions and also control them. Because a lot of times, so many men hold in their emotions to the point eventually it explodes and it turns into resentment or it turns into anger. And that's the big thing about it. You need to be able to actually communicate your feelings and your emotions. And that's the big thing about it. Everyone's like, oh, I need to be this and this. Like, no, just be you. Like, I feel like a lot of men, the only emotion they feel like they're allowed to feel is anger. And a lot of times that anger is just repressing your emotions all the time. And that's not healthy. You won't be able to regulate your emotions as well if you just talked about it, if you communicated with it. And if you don't have a partner that is able to, that is not the right person to be with. You need to be able to be like, feel safe enough with your partner to communicate your feelings and your emotions. It's something that's super important. And a lot of people like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that comes down to a relationship and like that, but I think that is a big piece, is like, everyone's like, oh, don't get me wrong, I love this person. You can love a person, but you need to be able to grow with a person mentally and physically. You need to be able to take the next steps. And if you cannot communicate your feelings with your woman, how are you able to actually grow as an individual? How are you supposed to grow as a couple? How are you supposed to grow together? Because you're always going to repress those feelings and those emotions, and that is not healthy for you. And I feel like so many men lose their battle because they're scared to talk about it. They're scared to be judged, to be looked at as less, I've had it thrown in my face, I've dealt with mental health for a very long time. It's something that I struggle with. And, it's like, but at the end of the day, that doesn't make you less of a person. And a lot of people are like, oh, I can't be this because of who I am. Just because I'm struggling, that makes me less. I gotta hold it in. And they hold it in to the point that they feel like there is no other option. There is no support out there. And I want you guys to know that there is support. Reach out to your loved ones. And if you don't have loved ones, reach out to your family. If you don't have that, reach out to someone. Talk to someone. So many people lose their battle, and it's the saddest thing out there. And I never want anyone to ever feel like they cannot open up and talk about their struggles, because their struggles are valid. It can be something so small to something so big. If it's affecting you, it matters. And that's the big thing about it. Everyone's like, oh, it has to be like this drastic thing. It does not. And like, it's better to talk about those things. I'm not saying constantly, put your feelings and your emotions onto people, but it's okay to reach out. It's okay to break down. And a lot of times we're like, we've grown up this way of like, we're not allowed to. We need to break that stigma, because all it is ever doing is hurting people. Do you know how many men take their life every year because of it? And that's the big thing about it. Or they push themselves to the point that they can't even function. Or they literally to the point that their relationship crumbles, or they're overworking themselves because they are scared to feel those emotions. They're scared to have those conversations. And a lot of times we, turn to substances, we turn to certain habits to try and numb. Realistically, we're trying to replace what we're feeling with another feeling. That can be drugs. That could be something as, you don't realize how many times we're just trying to feel okay. And it's also okay to not be okay. A lot of people are like, oh, I can't be emotional. It's okay to be emotional. Emotions are normal. And a lot of times where it's stigmatized that emotions aren't normal. Yes, some people are more emotional than others. Some people are a little bit like, they don't feel things as much. But just because you feel things does not make you less of a person. That makes you should be happy that you are feeling things, because it tells you, hey, I'm alive. I'm here. I'm a human being, and every human being should be able to. And it should be a reminder of like, hey, I'm still here. I've still got fight in me. And if you're struggling to feel your emotions and you don't feel anything, please reach out, get help, because life is worth living. You want to be able to actually embrace life. And that's the big thing about it. So many people aren't able to actually live in the moment. And I feel like that's our biggest struggle, is living in the moment. They're haunted by their past. They're haunted by, overwhelmed by over everything. They're over analyzing every situation, everything, to the point that they're not even present in the moment. Sorry about that. But like, that's the big thing about it. So it's like, I feel like we're all just trying to do our best. And, your best is enough. 100% one day is going to look different than another day. And that's the honest truth when it comes down to it. We're all just trying to become the best versions of ourselves. And, just be gentle with yourself. Just try to. Because a lot of times it's so easy, because the world will break you down. So why don't you build yourself up? And that's the big thing about it. I'm not saying, hey, blow like hot air into yourself, but be like, hey, I'm worth it. I can do this. Believe in yourself. So many people are scared to do things, so they end up settling. They end up doing things because they're scared. They're like, oh, I can't possibly do this. Yes, you can. If you can truly believe it, I truly think you can achieve it. If you have the willpower and the motivation to do something, do it. Don't just sit on your life, because life is a ticking time bomb. It really, really is. And, when it comes down to it, we're all just trying to become the best versions of ourselves. But I thought I would make this kind of video. I thought if you guys want more videos on like, mental health and stuff like that, because I really try to promote mental health, because especially as a man, because a lot of time it is not talked about. A lot of men should be reaching out, and that could be to their family, to their loved ones, to a therapist, anyone, because it's okay to struggle. It is. Please don't feel like there is not that option. My DMs are always open. If anyone never needs to talk or is struggling, you know how many people message me in a week telling me, hey, your videos help me. Hey, your TikTok posts make me feel less alone in my struggles. Yes, I may be roasted. I may get, laughed at on TikTok for posting my emotions or posting my feelings. But if I know I can help someone, to me, that matters more than anything. And that's the big thing about it. So, If you guys enjoyed this video, I appreciate if you guys could subscribe. It would definitely mean the world. But yeah, I'm trying to post consistently, so if you guys do enjoy this, it would mean the whole entire world. Yeah, tomorrow I will probably be filming a workout video, so should be a good session. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that one. So yeah,